And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Okay, today we're talking about Kahmate. Basically, this is a board game version of rugby, although I do not think it's meant to be taken very seriously, if anything, because of the funny artwork on it. Now, I do not profess to know much about the rules of rugby, and every time I say such things, I get emails from people saying, how can you like your sport, American football, and yada yada yada. Look, I just do. I don't even like American football that much. Soccer is where it's at. But anyway, rugby here is put into this game. It's a very short little game. Let me show you how to play it, then I'll tell you if it's good or not. Okay, so here's the board, and you can see here that it's kind of like a checkerboard, and each player has 6 players, and you can pick where they start on the back line. So who do you have? Well, you have here your ordinary guy. Okay, he can move 3 spaces, and that's about it. Then you have your speedster. Okay, this guy can move 4 spaces, but he's -1 on attacking and defending. You have your agile guy who looks more like he cares about his looks than anything else, and he can go 3 spaces and he's +1 on the defense. Then you got this guy here who's +1 on the attack, and then you got your tough guy who can only move 2, but he's +2 on the attack and -1 on the defense. You have 2 of the normal guys. So on your turn, what you can do is you can move 2 of your guys. You can move them the spaces that they're allowed to move. You cannot move diagonally, but they can move in other directions. They can also try different actions. If you manage to get the ball, you can pass the ball backwards only, 1 or 2 spaces. You can pass the ball backwards to another player on your team. You can do that as many times as you want. If someone's between you and the ball, you can try to they can try to intercept. You can try to force your way through somebody. You can try to tackle an opposing player, or you can kick the ball forward. When you kick the ball forward, you don't kick it to another player, you just kind of kick it forward. And then I guess somebody else can run and grab it. If you manage to get the ball to the opponent's line, you win, or you score a point and get first person to get 2 points is the winner. At the beginning of a match, each player gets a bunch of these endurance cards, numbered 1 through 5. And whenever you tackle or intercept or try to force your way through someone, one person is the attacker, the other person's the defender. Each person plays one of these cards face down. You turn them up, add them to whatever bonus you might have. The bonuses are written on the side of the board here. And the person with the stronger power is the winner. The card you use is gone until you use all 6 of your cards, and then you get them all back again. If you are taken out, then you turn your guy over to show a beaten up guy. They all look the same when they're beaten up. And he will not be able to go until the next turn. And that's basically the rules of the game. Like I said, you can play to 1 point, first person to score a point wins, or you can play to first person to best 2 out of 3. Now, it's not because I'm not a fan of the sport. It's just because I'm starting to think any kind of game like this, most of the time the games like these are soccer or football games, they just don't work on a board game. They just don't. It just, when it comes down to it, the pictures are funny, the idea is okay, even though obviously they've lifted mechanics from the Lord of the Rings confrontation and things like that. The playing the cards and stuff, but it's just boring. I wanted to like it more, but action is so slow. I move, and it almost feels like an abstract chess match than it does like a sport game. And that may be interesting to you, but the thing here is, I didn't see anything new or interesting from other games. I've already played a little soccer games where you move around, and I know it's not soccer, it's rugby, but it didn't feel like it was any much different than, well, a soccer game. Except in a soccer game, you can't pass forward. That's basically what it felt like, and for that matter, I'm just not that impressed with the game. I like the artwork. It seems like some people might like it. I just haven't met any of them yet.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Yeah.